Hello and welcome to Learn ADS in 5 minutes. This is Tutorial-18, and in this tutorial we will look at how to encrypt our design using a very nice feature in ADS called RFIP encoder. Now notice many a times it is necessary that we protect our IP, but we still want to share the design with our colleagues or customers. Now encoding designs in ADS is very easy. For example, let me illustrate that. So we will open a schematic where we have built, this filter circuit, and I want to pass this design to my colleague or customer so that he can simulate it in ADS and he could look at the performance, frequency response, etc. But I don't want to disclose this internal architecture to him. Now, this could be a lumped element design, or this could be a design which having transistors and more IP. The only consideration needs to be paid in terms of if I'm going to share a design where I'm using a certain PDK component, then the designer who is going to use this encrypted design and simulate should also have access to the same design kit, else the design will give an error. So it basically this will encrypt the design, but you still has dependency on the vendor library components which might be used in our sub design. Now, to encrypt a design, once you are in the schematic which you want to encrypt, we can go to Tools, Encode Design. Now, using this dialog, we can select all the designs we have in this library or any other library which we might have included in our workspace. Now, I will select Design with Q schematic and I will add that to Encode. Now you can go ahead and select multiple designs in one shot, whatever you would like to encode. Now, if you have a bitmap to represent it like a pellet, once other designers start to use my IP, you could set the bitmap. In case you don't have any bitmap, it will be represented by a default icon with a lock picture, but we will see. So we can give our library name. So here, for example, I've given encoder test. You can give library version. You can give a library description of this design, and you can choose a destination path where you would like to create the encoded design. So in my case, I have selected desktop as my destination. Now, after encoding, you could make it a zip file and it will be like pretty much like design kit. Like in previous videos, I have shown you how to use various vendor design kit, and they behind the scene uses the similar technology to encrypt their components so that we can get the behavior of the component, but we cannot see what's inside. Or we can create a design kit with no zip file and later manually we can add the design file. Now, you can enter your name, your company, your email address, everything. Once you're ready, simply you click on encode and the encoding process will begin. Now, depending on the complication or the number of components in the design, it takes few seconds and now the library is encoded. And if I refer to my desktop now, I can look at desktop. I do have an encoded test folder. Remember, I haven't selected a zip file. That's why it is available as a folder. If I double click and go inside, you can see the structure is very similar to how a typical design kit is having. And now I can just select this lib.def to be used in my any workspace. So here in my workspace, I will go to design kit, manage library, like pretty much how we work with vendor library component, add a library definition file. I can browse to the location and then simply link to this lib.def. Once we do that, now we have this component or multiple components available for us to use. So if we create a new schematic and under library palette list, if we go in, you will see a library called encoder test. And currently we have one component. And because we haven't set any bitmap, it is represented by this lock sign. So I can place this component and it still shows me the same component name, but if I try to push into this design, it is protected, it cannot push inside, so your IP is secured here because the block is encrypted. But if I go ahead and insert a template, remember in last tutorial video, we did save as parameter simulation template. We can insert the template and we can make connections to this design. Now, having this simulation template here is quite useful because we can just reuse the simulation conditions we have set up earlier. Now we can go ahead and run this design. So in running the design, there's absolutely no problem. You could run the design, and now if we insert a graph, or I can insert the data display template which we created, but in this case let me insert a new graph, is the same. Remember, this is how our filter response with Q look like in earlier tutorial videos. So this is a good way to encrypt your design IP, still share the information so that other person can use your design into his system design, or he can validate whether your design is fulfilling the criteria which he was looking for. Hope you like this video and it will help you protecting your design IPs. Thanks a lot for watching this tutorial. See you in next video.